In a surprising turn of events, 50 Cent took to social media to lightly roast Busta Rhymes after the rapper skipped a scheduled meetup, following a viral clip involving Diddy. The back and forth between the two hip-hop legends unfolded with 50 Cent humorously calling out Busta for not showing up, adding fuel to the already simmering tensions within the hip-hop community. This playful jab came after Diddy's controversial clip went viral, sparking a wave of reactions from fellow artists, including 50 Cent, who is never shy about sharing his thoughts. While the exchange was more playful than hostile, it once again highlighted the complex relationships and rivalries that often fuel the drama within the hip-hop world. The leaked tapes, a turning point in Busta Rhymes' reputation. In an era where leaks are all too common, Busta Rhymes became the latest victim of a scandal that threatened to unravel years of hard-earned success. The tapes in question, which appeared to show Busta engaging in highly questionable behavior, quickly went viral. These leaked recordings painted a starkly different picture of the rapper than the one his fans had come to admire. While his music had always been associated with energy, power, and authenticity, the tapes revealed a much darker side to his persona, one that involved questionable interactions with both fans and industry insiders. This sudden shift from the Busta Rhymes fans, new to the man exposed in the tapes, left many wondering if the rapper had always been hiding these skeletons behind his public image. What shocked the fans even more was the appearance of Busta Rhymes in the leaked footage, engaging in bizarre and unsettling behavior toward a fan, which many now view as highly inappropriate. The way Busta interacted with the fan, who appeared confused and uncomfortable, raised concerns about his true nature. His once genuine persona as a dedicated artist and performer now seemed tainted. This footage, combined with the ongoing controversy surrounding the rapper, left a shadow over his reputation and brought about questions regarding the authenticity of the celebrity lifestyle that he had spent years perfecting. The 50 Cent factor, stirring the pot. For those familiar with the bitter rivalry between 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes, the leaked tapes were only the beginning. 50 Cent, the notorious online provocateur and master of stirring controversy, saw an opportunity to capitalize on Busta's misfortune. Seizing the moment, he mocked Busta Rhymes' personal style, particularly focusing on his fading hairline. Through a series of Instagram posts, 50 Cent took aim at Busta, making jabs about his looks, his aging career, and his credibility in the industry. 50 Cent's constant trolling and mocking served as a reminder of how brutal the hip-hop world could be, where even the smallest misstep could result in a cascade of public mockery. Despite the chaos surrounding Busta, 50 Cent seemed to relish in his rival's downfall, providing plenty of content for his fans to engage with. But it wasn't just Busta's appearance that 50 took aim at. The rapper also made fun of Busta's career, suggesting that his time had passed. In response, Busta did not stay silent for long. He fired back with his own insults, claiming that 50 Cent was trying to overshadow him by engaging in petty antics. The back and forth between the two rappers quickly turned into a social media spectacle, with fans divided over which side to take. Busta Rhymes' defense: "You started this." As the online back and forth escalated, Busta Rhymes took to the public sphere to defend himself. He was not going to let 50 Cent dictate the narrative. In a video that quickly spread online, Busta Rhymes made it clear that he had not instigated this drama. Instead, he accused 50 Cent of stirring the pot by spreading false narratives and creating unnecessary conflict. According to Busta, he had been minding his own business, staying out of trouble, when 50 Cent started his attack. Busta seemed determined to set the record straight, calling out 50 Cent for being the one to initiate the drama that had now spiraled out of control. Busta's argument, however, was met with skepticism by many. While he claimed to have been a victim of 50 Cent's tactics, others questioned whether Busta's own actions had contributed to the drama. After all, the leaked tapes had already painted him in an unfavorable light, and the backlash against him was growing. It was clear that Busta Rhymes' image was being reshaped by the public, and despite his efforts to defend himself, it seemed like the damage was already done. The unraveling of Busta Rhymes' image. One of the key elements that contributed to the unraveling of Busta Rhymes' image was his relationship with the fans. For years, Busta had been celebrated as one of the most energetic and unpredictable performers in hip-hop, known for his high-octane shows and his ability to captivate audiences with his larger-than-life personality. However, the leaked tapes exposed a darker side to his interactions with fans, leading many to wonder whether the persona he portrayed on stage was genuine or simply a performance. Fans were particularly disturbed by the way Busta seemed to treat the fan in the leaked video. The fan appeared confused and uncomfortable, and Busta's behavior only added to the discomfort. This stark contrast between his public image and private actions left many questioning whether they had been fooled by the facade Busta had carefully crafted over the years. Was the rapper who had once been revered for his talent and charisma simply playing a role? Or was there something more sinister lurking behind the scenes? This dichotomy between Busta's public and private selves is a theme that has plagued many celebrities throughout history. The pressure to maintain a certain image, to live up to the expectations of fans and industry peers, can be overwhelming. In Busta's case, it seemed as though the weight of his own persona had become too much to bear, leading to an emotional breakdown that played out in front of millions on social media. The escalation from social media to real life. The escalating feud between Busta Rhymes and 50 Cent was not confined to social media. It quickly spilled over into the real world, with both rappers taking shots at each other in interviews, on stage, and in public appearances. The rivalry became so intense that it was no longer just about the music or the personal insults. It had evolved into a full-blown war of egos. As Busta and 50 Cent continued to exchange barbs, the hip-hop community watched in disbelief. Many wondered whether this rivalry was just another example of the petty drama that often takes over the entertainment industry, or if it represented something deeper. Was this feud a symptom of larger issues within the industry? Or was it simply a result of two egos clashing? The bigger picture, hip-hop, and the pressure of fame. The feud between Busta Rhymes and 50 Cent sheds light on the larger issues facing celebrities in the hip-hop industry. The pressure to maintain an image, the constant scrutiny of fans and the media, and the cutthroat nature of the business can take a significant toll on even the most seasoned artists. Busta Rhymes, who had once been at the top of the game, was now grappling with the realities of fame in an age where every move is recorded, analyzed, and dissected. The public's insatiable thirst for drama, scandal, and sensationalism only adds fuel to the fire. For every public feud, there's an army of fans and media outlets ready to pick sides and stoke the flames. In this environment, even the smallest misstep can lead to a catastrophic downfall. Busta Rhymes' struggle to maintain his reputation amidst the chaos of his feud with 50 Cent is a stark reminder of the price of fame in the modern world. A shift in perspective. Busta Rhymes' redemption arc? Despite the drama and the controversy, one thing remains clear. Busta Rhymes' story is far from over. The rapper has faced setbacks before, and he's always managed to bounce back. His future in the industry may be uncertain, but his resilience is undeniable. Whether he can overcome the negative press and repair his damaged reputation remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain. The saga of Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent, and the fallout from the leaked tapes is far from the final chapter in this ongoing drama. As Busta Rhymes navigates the storm of scandal and public backlash, the world watches, waiting to see how this latest chapter in his career will unfold. Will he regain his place at the top of the game? Or will this be the moment that defines the end of an era? Only time will tell. The Busta 50 Cent feud, a recurring drama. It all started innocently enough, two rap legends having fun at each other's expense. Yet, over time, the playful banter between Busta Rhymes and 50 Cent has evolved into something far more sinister. For years, 50 Cent has been a master at stirring the pot, using social media to fuel feuds and keep his name relevant. It wasn't long before he turned his sights on Busta Rhymes, ridiculing him in front of millions of Instagram followers. The initial jabs started with harmless trolling. 50 Cent posted an old clip of Busta Rhymes from a concert, where Busta could be seen acting suggestively toward a fan. 50 didn't hold back, mocking Busta for his over-the-top antics and suggesting that his behavior was more akin to an aging uncle at a family BBQ than a rap superstar. The comment was met with a few laughs and eye rolls from their shared fan base, but it was clear that the tension between the two was far from over. 50 Cent's social media taunts soon became a recurring theme. With each post, he seemed to up the ante, poking fun at Busta's oversized jewelry, his aging physical appearance, and even his music. 50's ability to get under his rival's skin was evident, but Busta's response was equally telling. In one of the most memorable moments of this feud, Busta Rhymes shot back at 50 with a series of laughing emojis and a quick quip, clearly showing that he wasn't taking the jabs too seriously. At least, that's what he wanted everyone to believe. However, behind the scenes, the rivalry between these two icons was beginning to get more personal. Busta began to accuse 50 Cent of stirring up false narratives about him, dragging his name through the mud without any real reason. It wasn't just playful back and forth anymore. It had escalated into a full-blown feud, the leather jacket drama. One of the most bizarre moments in their ongoing rivalry came when Busta Rhymes took to social media to vent about 50 Cent's latest attacks. He started by defending himself, claiming that he had been minding his own business when 50 initiated the drama. He spoke about a specific incident where 50 made fun of his leather jacket purchase, accusing Busta of having a hairline that was even worse than his infamous wardrobe choices. What began as a simple disagreement quickly spiraled into a deeper conflict. Busta lashed out at 50, calling him out for his role in perpetuating false narratives about him. This culminated in a series of Instagram posts where Busta sarcastically mocked 50, pointing out how 50 used products to achieve his look on stage, referencing a hairline and the use of styling products. It was an odd turn of events, two grown men publicly dissecting each other's appearance and personal choices for the world to see. Busta's commentary on 50's Rico Suave look was particularly telling. He turned the feud into a humorous yet biting commentary on 50's image, using his social media platform to dive deep into a mock forensic investigation. Busta humorously questioned whether 50 used multiple styling products to achieve his look, and offered a grand prize for anyone who could figure out the combination. It was an odd yet entertaining moment that captured the absurdity of their rivalry. What once seemed like a playful interaction between two hip-hop legends had now become a full-scale spectacle. Busta Rhymes' downfall. Despite the occasional humorous exchanges between Busta and 50, things were getting worse for Busta on a larger scale. As the feud continued to build, new videos surfaced that painted Busta in an unflattering light. The most infamous clip came during a live performance in St. Paul, Minnesota, where Busta was seen behaving inappropriately toward a fan. The footage, which went viral almost instantly, showed Busta holding his microphone suggestively near his crotch and stroking it while staring at a fan in the crowd. The reaction from viewers was mixed. Some were horrified, others amused. But what was undeniable was the negative impact the video had on Busta's reputation. As the clip gained traction on social media, 50 Cent wasted no time capitalizing on it. He shared the video on his Instagram page, humorously poking fun at Busta for his shameless behavior. 50's post quickly went viral, and the online community had a field day with it. Busta responded in his usual style, laughing it off and posting a series of emojis. But it was clear that the damage had been done. His antics were now the subject of widespread ridicule, and many began questioning his relevance in the modern hip-hop scene. The aftermath: Busta's struggle and Diddy's legal troubles. While Busta Rhymes tried to maintain his dignity amidst the storm, things weren't getting any easier for him. Behind the scenes, his team was scrambling to control the damage, and fans were beginning to distance themselves from his antics. In contrast, 50 Cent continued to bask in the attention, effortlessly turning the situation into another win for his brand. But while Busta's star seemed to be dimming, Diddy, another titan of the hip-hop world, was navigating his own set of legal troubles. Combs, who had once been a mentor to many in the industry, found himself embroiled in a $30 million lawsuit. The case was linked to allegations of wrongful termination and other accusations that threatened to tarnish Diddy's carefully curated image. However, in a surprising twist, Diddy managed to have the lawsuit dismissed, with a New York judge throwing out the most serious charges against him. Diddy's legal victory was a rare moment of respite for the mogul, who had been facing a growing number of legal battles and allegations. Despite this win, Diddy remained a polarizing figure, and many continued to question his actions behind closed doors. Some felt that the legal victory was only temporary, and that the dark clouds surrounding him would eventually catch up. However, as one case was dropped, another continued to simmer, threatening to drag Diddy back into the public eye. The future. What's next for Busta and Diddy? As for Busta Rhymes, his career seems to be in a state of flux. The rapper who once commanded stages with his high-energy performances and lightning-fast rhymes is now caught in a web of controversies. The internet's reaction to his behavior has been unforgiving, and his attempts to salvage his image through humor and deflection have only served to intensify the scrutiny. Busta's future in the industry remains uncertain, and it's unclear whether he can make a successful comeback or whether his reputation has been permanently damaged. Similarly, Diddy's legal troubles aren't likely to disappear anytime soon. While he managed to score a victory in the courtroom, the allegations and rumors surrounding him continue to pile up. Diddy has long been considered a power player in the entertainment industry, but the mounting lawsuits and scandals could eventually take their toll. How Diddy navigates these challenges will determine whether he can maintain his position at the top of the industry or if he'll be eclipsed by the controversies that follow him. The significance of the civil lawsuit dismissal. A major development in the ongoing saga of Diddy's legal battles came when a federal judge dismissed multiple charges from a civil lawsuit filed by music producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones. This lawsuit, which had initially led to police raids on Combs's homes, was seen as one of the most significant legal threats to the mogul's empire. Jones's suit accused Combs of a range of criminal activities, including running an alleged criminal enterprise. However, the judge dismissed the charges related to RICO, Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, and other high-level allegations, citing insufficient evidence to connect the criminal enterprise to the damages Jones claimed. While the dismissal of the civil charges is a victory for Combs, it does not mean that the threat has completely passed. The RICO charges, which form the backbone of the federal investigation into Combs, are still very much on the table. The dismissal only applies to the civil lawsuit, and the criminal case is likely to continue for the foreseeable future. This ongoing investigation, along with the swirl of allegations against him, suggests that Combs's legal troubles are far from over. The role of archival material and expert commentary. What sets this podcast apart from other true crime or celebrity-focused shows is its use of extensive archival material. Diddy has been a public figure for decades, and throughout his career, he has been consistently under the media's watchful eye. The podcast producers have access to a wealth of video and audio footage spanning several years, including interviews, behind-the-scenes clips, and moments from Diddy's rise to fame. These archival resources allow the show to paint a vivid picture of Combs's career and persona. By speaking with experts who have followed his career from the very beginning, the podcast offers an insider's perspective that is not available in mainstream news coverage. It is one thing to hear about someone's rise to fame. It's another to experience it through first-hand accounts, candid interviews, and archival media that offer an unfiltered glimpse into the complex and sometimes contradictory nature of his public and private life. Legal expertise, a key component of the show. Another standout feature of the podcast is the involvement of legal experts who are intimately familiar with the case. The host, an attorney with extensive experience in the Southern District of New York, brings a unique perspective to the show. His insights into the intricacies of the legal system and the charges facing Combs help listeners better understand the implications of the ongoing investigation. Legal professionals with experience in criminal law, RICO cases, and high-profile trials are brought on to discuss the legal issues surrounding Combs's case. By explaining the complexities of the legal process, they provide listeners with a deeper understanding of the case's potential outcomes. This combination of expert commentary and detailed legal analysis is invaluable for listeners who want to understand the ramifications of the case beyond the surface-level headlines. A more comprehensive approach to storytelling. One of the most compelling aspects of the podcast is its approach to storytelling. Instead of simply focusing on the details of the legal case, the podcast also provides historical context. It takes listeners back to the early days of Combs's career, highlighting the pivotal moments that shaped his rise to fame and success. By doing so, the podcast allows listeners to see how his career, reputation, and personal life intersect, creating a more nuanced understanding of the man behind the headlines. In addition to focusing on the legal aspects of the case, the podcast also touches on broader cultural themes. For example, how does Diddy's case reflect the wider issues within the entertainment industry? What does his rise to fame say about the pressures faced by celebrities? And how does the public's perception of him change as the case unfolds? These larger questions add depth to the podcast, making it not just a legal analysis, but also a commentary on fame, power, and the dark side of celebrity culture. What's to come? The trial and beyond. As the case progresses, the podcast will continue to evolve. Once the trial begins, the show plans to shift to a more frequent format, offering updates and analysis on a twice-weekly basis. This will allow the show to stay ahead of the news cycle, providing live updates as the trial unfolds. The producers plan to bring listeners into the courtroom as much as possible, offering an inside look at the trial proceedings, from the jury's reactions to the arguments presented by both sides. This approach to covering a trial is groundbreaking in many ways. With the Southern District of New York not allowing cameras in the courtroom, the podcast is one of the few ways for listeners to get a front-row seat to the legal drama. This innovative format promises to make the trial not only more accessible, but also more engaging for the audience. A deep, multifaceted investigation, the podcast dedicated to Sean Combs's legal battles is shaping up to be one of the most comprehensive and nuanced investigations into a celebrity's fall from grace in recent memory. By combining legal analysis, expert commentary, and archival material, it offers listeners a multidimensional look at the case that is both informative and entertaining. As the trial approaches, the podcast will continue to evolve, keeping its audience informed and engaged with live updates and deep dives into the complex web of legal and cultural issues surrounding Combs. Whether or not Combs is ultimately found guilty, the podcast promises to offer a thorough examination of the case, shedding light on the fascinating and sometimes troubling aspects of his life and career.